Mute. All right, there we go.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks so very much for being here. I truly appreciate it. We are recording, and if that is a problem with you, please let me know or turn off the camera, but I'm thrilled to have everyone here. And we're gonna have a great conversation tonight about success and pathways to success. And we've got some illustrious guests, and I am just super excited to share my screen and get started. We are 5 minutes in, so that's where we wanted to start. All right, let me share my screen.
Are you able to spotlight now, April?
Oh, I bet I could, yeah. Let's see.
Spotlight the panelists.
Yes.
All right, we will go spotlight the panelists. Hold on, let me go back. Where am I? Spotlight. Participants, let me go find it. Yes, more. You said guess more and spotlight, right? I don't see.
Yay.
No. Oh, I see Sherry's here. Awesome. Let's see. No, I probably should have just made co-hosts and actually that's what I'm gonna do. Michael, I'm gonna make you co-host.
Okay.
There we go. Boom. Awesome. Okay. So let's get started here.
Okay, I've enabled screen sharing for everybody.
Awesome.
And Michael, you can do the spotlight then while April begins?
Yeah, go right ahead. Go, April, I'll go. I'll handle that part.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, once again, welcome, everyone. I am so excited for tonight, and our guests we're going to introduce in depth a little bit later, but the very first thing we are going to do is talk about success and paths to success. And that's why I'm so thrilled my Uncle Ray is here. He is my idol, my epitome of what success is. And one of the things I've learned through in my 51 years of life here is that success is not just a measure of numbers, of dollars. Success is a measure of multiple criteria. And this chart at the top, again, I hope for my students who are here, please take a screenshot of this chart, and I'm going to share it I'm going to share the link with everyone as well. But when you think about your success, do not just think about the dollars you're earning. Think about your success in terms of the health you have, both physical health, financial health, emotional health, spiritual health, intellectual health, social health, and give yourself time to do a check. Like, make sure your life will change as the time flies, but make sure you like do a daily check and find out what you're doing in your life that puts you on one side of this continuum and what you're doing on your life that puts you on the other side of this continuum. And don't ever be hard on yourself. You are where you are, and then just keep your mind on moving toward the better than you were just a moment ago. So I know we've got some recent graduates who are still looking for work or wondering, was all this worth it? I'm so glad you've joined us, because what we're going to do here today is give you some concrete advice for how to land that first job, how to be happy about what you succeeded to this point in your life. And we're going to talk to some amazing alumni. So just for those concrete points, if you are a recent graduate, I want you to look at this checklist and make sure that you've visited the Career Services Center, that you've got your resume on VMOC. Make sure that, and for those who aren't in college right now, VMOC is an AI system that compares resumes to thousands and thousands of other resumes for those that got landed jobs. Make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date. Make sure you have a personal website. If you're a coder, make sure your code is on GitHub so people can see not only the code you created, but the way you create code and your efficiency and your documentation. And make sure you joined all the professional orgs that are related to the field that you care about. And then identifying the field you care about is your greatest work, and it will happen over and over and over at different points in your life. So again, don't be hard on yourself. The way you find what you care about is to just keep trying things, try internships, talk to people who are doing something you think you might want to be doing. So we want you to just be open and be expecting the best for yourself and explore. And this list that I'm not going to read it, but I want you to have it. I'm going to share this presentation. This list Sherrie Littlejohn put together for us. Thank you so much, Sherrie. This is a wonderful list, some questions that you need to ask yourself. And this is homework for all our students. We want you to go do this. Don't just gloss it over. She put time when she's got a whole bunch of other things on her schedule to put this together for you. So we want you, this is how you make it to the next level. Your conversation with yourself is the most important conversation you will ever have. So please, please, please go do the homework, ask your questions, ask these questions of yourself, and give real answers to yourself. Then at the top of this slide is a quote from Warren Buffett. And if there's an Easter egg in here, there's a little video of Warren Buffett and Jay-Z talking about success. So that's for later. But again, at the end of the day, what really matters is who you love and how much love you've given. And that's the ultimate goal. That's the top secret end game for our esporters. The big boss at the end of the game is who you love and who loved you. So do not be hard on yourself. And thank you for joining us. And I'm not going to talk all day because we've got amazing speakers here. So to start, speaking of amazing speakers, let me introduce Sherrie Littlejohn. She's absolutely phenomenal, and her history is here for you to read, but she is so energetic and such just a joy to be around, and she has dedicated so much time to IIT. Both she and Andrea wake up at 6 in the morning on Saturdays to talk about you guys, our students. I know you don't know this, but I'm telling you now, we have some dedicated people here who are, the honors are too long to read, but I'm sending them to you for you to read them later because this is the cream of the crop here. And Andrea Berry, also amazing. You guys can read this and I'm going to read it later. But again, what I really, really want to emphasize is the fact that she cares. She truly cares about you, and she truly cares about making this place, our school, a better place. And I got to go to my very first board meeting this yesterday, and I got to hear both of these women really put all the cards on the table about diversity, about inclusion, about making our community better and stronger. And we are really, truly, truly blessed to have them here. And then I'm going to introduce Timi. Timi's also a wonderful alum. He's going to introduce our next speakers. Timi, are you out there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, we got
Wonderful.
you.
My name is Timi Akindele. It's great to see you all here today. I'm part of the class of 2015. And I will be introducing Freddie and Emmanuel Clue. I have a synopsis of their biographies here, so I'll do my best to just read. Unfortunately, Fred is not with us, but he has jury duty, so I think we could still talk about him. So Fred is a retired senior naval officer, a corporate business leader, a professional engineer, an international volunteer, and a sustainable energy advocate. He's from Alabama, and he's part of the class of 1970 from Illinois Tech. He went on to receive advanced degrees in engineering, business, and international affairs from the University of Maryland, the University of Michigan, and the National War College in Washington. He served 26 years in the Civil Engineer Corps and was also a captain. After federal service, he became president of two major US North American companies delivering engineering and construction services He presently is a member of Illinois Tech Alumni Board of Directors and the past chairman of the Illinois Admissions Committee. And next is Emmanuel Clue. Emmanuel Clue is an experienced software engineer, designer, developer, and he's based in the Bay Area in California. He's a graduate of Illinois Tech, class of 2013. He received his bachelor's in science, in computer science, and a minor in psychology. He was the student commencement speaker in 2013. He grew up in Cape Coast, Ghana, where he got into design, web development at a very young age. He's very passionate about using technology for social impact, and he believes technology drives economies, and he desires to help grow tech talent in underrepresented communities. So everyone, please join me as we welcome Freddie and Emmanuel Clue to our discussion today.
Yay, thank you so much. And what we wanted to do, our goal was to leave enough time for each of our honored guests to speak, and then we're going to open the floor. I'd like to, I'm not sure if he's here, I can't see or not, but once each of our honored guests speak, we're going to invite Mitch from Verdo Education to talk about a opportunity for our students who are here, another pathway to success. So with that, shall we open the floor? Emmanuel, would you like to give us your words of wisdom on success?
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all. It's been a while since I saw some of you. It's really great to be a part of this. Thank you for inviting me to speak. It was a little intimidating because, like both Sherrie and Andrea are people that they've been like really amazing mentors for me. And so being next to them is intimidating. I'll try to do my best. So yeah, I graduated, it's been 8 years now. And I think I've learned a few things along the way that I wanted to share. A lot of the wisdom I have gotten have also been from my mentors. So that's definitely like one thing I would recommend is, like find your people, find mentors who can pour into you, people who can keep you accountable, people you can be honest with and who can be honest with you. And the people part, I think, is the biggest thing for me. Like even in my engineering job, I found my way going into management because I cared about people. And I think at the core of everything, the people matter. Like whatever you're going to do, you won't be able to do it all on your own. And so finding your people is really critical. So that's the first thing that I'd like to talk about. The next thing would be just knowing yourself and knowing your worth. There are a few things that came to mind when I was kind of reflecting on this. One of them is knowing your value. So like the things you care about, the things that are important to you, the things that shape how you work, what you work on. Another thing is the kind of impact you want to have. So what change do you want to see in the world? The next thing is what you're passionate about. So the things that get you excited, the things you like doing. And lastly, what your abilities are. So what are you good at? What do you need to do to continue growing in the thing you're good at? And the reason to kind of reflect on these often is that helps you channel your energy in the right direction. That helps you figure out what role you'll be good at. I know Sherrie has asked me a ton of questions in the past whenever I've been thinking about, taking on a new role or, changing teams, going for promotion. And these are the things that have stuck out to me. Self-reflection is pretty critical. And beyond that, of course, reflecting with your community, right? So find your people, network a lot, share your dreams, your thoughts, your goals with them so they can keep you on the right path. More professionally, I would say in your, for whatever ends up becoming your job, or the thing that you spend most of your time on, I would say that, you need to commit to becoming exceptional in your role. Figuring out what that core thing is for you and be really, really good at it. However, you also need to be very, very interested and curious in everything else that kind of happens around that core role. So that idea of adjacency and being able to speak with people who are not doing the thing you do, but maybe around the thing you do, because the work that you're doing is being done with other people to deliver impact. And so getting that understanding early on is very useful. When I started out, as a software engineer, and within a year, I found myself, playing a product management role, doing project management, doing user experience research. I did a lot of different things that were not my core role. And that has really helped me now. Now that I've grown, I couldn't really see the impact of it then, because I was entry level. I just had to shut up and get my job done. But now that I'm more experienced, it comes in handy because I am working with people in these different roles, and it really helps to understand where they're coming from. Understand that you all have the same goal. So you're all trying to achieve the same thing, and you have a part to play in that. So professionally, I think, thinking about what you want to spend the most time on, personally, individually, and who all you need around you to be able to achieve that goal. So figuring out the role that you're going to play and the support that you're going to give to others who are playing other roles. As far as success, this would be the last thing that I'll talk about. When I think about my growth in my career, and I haven't really, been in my career that long, so the others have a lot more to say. It's only been 8 years for me. But so far, what I have learned is you need to, once you know yourself, once you understand your ability, you need to find yourself in the right position that can challenge you to grow. So you need to know what you need and put yourself in the environment that will help you grow. I think the environment is probably more important than your personal will, because that wanes, that gets impacted by a lot of other things. But finding yourself in a good team, right? Finding yourself with the right manager, finding yourself at the right company, finding yourself in the right place that gives you the opportunity to grow and challenges you to grow. That has been probably the biggest thing for me in growth, because whenever I sensed that I was getting too comfortable, I would think about what I needed to do next, how to keep myself challenged. And with each challenge comes growth. And with that growth would come, maybe a promotion, because, you're building new abilities and you're learning new things. So that has been super important for me. In that way of success, professional success. The other, and the second and last area of success that this has worked well for me is in my impact in the world. So I care a lot about, humanity and the human condition, as Sherrie will put it. And I have a heart for seeing things become better in the world. And so in that same vein to figuring out what my contributions will be and what contributions I can support. It's like, what am I going to spend my time on? What am I going to give money to? Who am I going to mentor? Those are all different roles that you can play. And so figuring out when to do what has been really useful. And in order to do that, you need to know, again, you need to know what kind of impact you're trying to have and what your alignment looks like as far as your own abilities and the intersection with your passions. Knowing where you're going helps, because you can make some decisions confidently, knowing that you're taking the right steps, keeping that goal in mind. And so those are the kind of two areas of success that I've seen, having some positive impact in the world and doing well at work. And I think both are achievable. You can do both. And I think my work is proof. Like, I've gotten to a point where my work is actually social impact, right? Like, the thing I'm spending all of my time on at work is the thing that I care about. But it took a while to get there. It was disconnected for a long time, and I had to wrestle with that over years. But I'm keeping true to the idea of continuous learning and continuous development. Made sure that I was ready for those opportunities when they came up, and I was able to take advantage of them. So shout out to Sherrie and Andrea. You have been amazing mentors for me, and I can't wait to hear what you all have to say.
Well, that's a hard act to follow, right, Sherrie?
It's so wonderful, to listen to someone you've coached, you've mentored, you knew him when, and to hear him speak and repeat back to you, to hear your voice in his words. It's just awesome.
It's making me want to cry. It's making me want to cry.
I know,
Emmanuel,
I'm
virtual hug to you.
Yes.
And to all you students, Emmanuel himself was a prodigy. And, he graduated early. He graduated at the top of his class. He got multiple opportunities upon graduation. And of course, he took the masterful best one that he could at Google. And I remember when you told me you were going to London, right? Remember that? You were going to London. We had a conversation, and I'm like, oh my God, this kid doesn't even know how blessed he is. So he got the same education that all you other kids are getting. And the cool thing about IIT is they teach you how to think. And so we are taught, whether you're a C student, a B student, an A student, whatever type of student you are, when you graduate, this school has prepared you to think. And that's what you're going to need in the workplace. Sherrie, please pipe in. There's nothing more important than your ability to think. And because we're in a scientific realm, even if you're in business, architecture, computer science, I don't care what it is. The people that you work with and the people who you are serving are the most important assets of your career. And we cannot do anything alone. We're in a project-based world, and you cannot do anything alone. So building teams and building camaraderies and relationships with people is the most important thing that you can do in your career. And that's where I'm in entertainment. When you read my bio and everything, I'm in entertainment. There's no way I could have done this alone, or without my success was due to the good people that I had around me. I could never say that I did it by myself. But for you, when you guys are going into interview, it gets kind of scary. It's like, do I want this job? Do I want this job? Be bold about who you are. You don't have to be arrogant, but be bold, be courageous, and also have that confidence to know that you're coming from the best schools in the country and you are up here when it comes to your level of education. So you already have the tools, right? You must learn how to speak and you must learn how to write. It is very important that you come off confident but not arrogant, right? And the humbleness that Emmanuel has, and you heard it in his speaking, and the humbleness that Sherrie and I always advocate for is one of the things that make you approachable and make people want you to be a part of their team. So your accolades and your ability to actually do the job are only a part of that success that you're going to gain. Anybody can do a job that they're taught. It's a task, right? The thing that you have to do to make you successful is to be able to do extra. What is it? How can you create work for yourself on top of the job that you're doing? That's how you escalate in your career, right? What are the extra things that you can do that will make you shine, and be on top and be on top of the group that you're in? I say compete with yourself, set your goals, set your visions. And I am a firm believer, been doing it since I'm 8 years old, of vision boarding. And you don't have to do a board with the newspaper slides and, the magazines and all that stuff. We can just write them on a piece of paper, write your goals, and goals have to have a timeline or they're just a dream, right? So you make sure you have your goals. You said, I remember when I was 29, and my brother still wants to choke me for this. I said I wanted to have an Emmy Award by the time I was 30. And sure enough, a month or so before my 30th birthday, I acquired my first Emmy. So but anything that you want, be it a new home, a new car, a promotion, an advance on a raise on your job, or aspire, whatever you're aspiring to, put that in a plan for your life, because that's the only way. You already have the basic skills to get a job. As long as you show up, you show that you're confident, and you let that employer know that you are there to make their company better. You're an asset. I just did a talk this morning with UCLA students, and one of the things that came out was that the employer really doesn't want to know what you want to do in 20 years. They want to know, how can you fulfill this job right now, right? They've got a job to fill, and they want to know that you are the best candidate for that job right now. And then when you get into the job, you can show them that, yeah, this is a rock star and all that kind of stuff. But your interview process to get your foot in the door is one of the most important things that you can ever do. And so those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about. And also, Emmanuel mentioned networking. Networking is very important, making sure that you're surrounding yourself by professionals who can enhance your career. Knowing that there are mentors and sponsors out there, and maybe Sherrie, we should go into what the difference between a mentor and a sponsor, right? And then we should also make sure that you stay relevant and understand that education is ongoing. Just because you're graduating right now does not mean that you're finished with school. We have a lot of PhDs. I see Joseph on here and Natasha. They're all PhDs, and they never stop learning, and they're still not stopped learning. I've done a lot of executive education myself, and you don't necessarily have to get a master's or a PhD, but I encourage you to get some types of certifications, especially in technology, because it's constantly changing. Make sure that you get your technology, your relevant certificates or whatever you need every other year, whatever it takes, because that's going to put you at another level from your peers. Compete with yourself. Set a goal, hit that goal, go for the next one. Set a goal, hit a goal, go for the next one. If you aren't goal oriented, you're not going to be satisfied with yourself, and you're not going to have that self-fulfillment that's needed. To me, that's a good definition of success. Not about how much money, how much cars you have, and how all this kind of stuff, but are you surrounded by a good family, good friends, and are you self-fulfilled? And that self-fulfillment comes in with the list that April put out, the financial, the spiritual, the family, all that. That makes you a well-rounded person. And the midst of all of this, and Celeste Redmond, who was my old college roommate, will tell you I am the first person who loves to have a lot of fun. So don't miss out on fun in this process of doing what you're trying to do to equate to success, right? That has to be one of the most important things that you do, or you will crack up, especially now we're in a pandemic and there's a lot of isolation going on. So we have to be very careful about our mental health, our physical health, and our ability to have fun. So I'll pass it on to Sherrie or to
That's fine.
to anyone else.
Let me just piggyback on what you just said about fun. I think it's important to study and be the best that you can be in everything that you pursue. The key thing is knowing what you want. For me, success is knowing what I want to achieve. This is my life. This is your life. You choose to be what you want to be. This is not mom's life. This is not dad's life. This is not your favorite professor's life. This is your life. You decide what you want to do. Andrea said she wanted to have an Emmy by the time she was 30. This is her life. This is her dream that she wanted to realize. I would say, and not be repetitive, but the continuous learning piece is such a critical piece to success. I know we think gosh, I can't stand going to class. I've been in class for 4, 5, 6 years. I'm tired of studying. Trust me, it doesn't have to be all of that. It's just, what do you want to learn? What do you want to be better at? What do you want to be good at? What do you want to set yourself apart from others? Andrea mentioned about networking as well as Emmanuel in terms of networking and what that is. Be intentional about the people that you want to surround you with. Emmanuel called it finding your people. You know, find the people that will add to your success, add to who you are, make you better at who you are. Don't surround yourself with people who are saying, I can't do this, I can't do, no, don't have time. My family knows, don't come around me saying what you can't do. Don't come around me telling me I couldn't make that happen. I couldn't afford this. I don't hear you. Lights are off. It's what is it that really inspires you? Because truth is, you can have anything, I mean anything that you're willing to work for.
That's
anything.
true. Yeah.
If you're willing to put the hard work in, you can have it. But I will tell you this, don't take a job because it pays you a lot of money. That
Oh
will
my God.
you will find yourself in a miserable place.
Yeah.
Take a job that you enjoy, that you love. The money will come that you need to have a joyous life. But when you're doing something that's meaningful to you and meaningful to others, that is the epitome of success. I know you might think that, you know, having that beautiful car, that beautiful house, those are nice things, but I can tell you from experience, once you get them, they're just things. They're just things. It's really the friends, the relationships, the things that you're able to do to impact life, impact the world, impact things around you, impact your family. Those are the things that are lasting and sustainable. And again, you guys we talked about the career and the interview. And this is the advice I give to my clients about interviews. They're interviewing you and you're interviewing them. When you go into that interview, you think about, what is it that I want from this company? What is the culture like? Will I be a fit for this culture? Or are they doing things that I'm going to enjoy? Can I grow in this company? Are they really interested in me and what I want to do? Ask those questions about what you're curious about. Be curious about, what am I going to be able to do X if I take this role? Is that something that will be down the line? It might not be today, but it might be tomorrow, because you're looking for something to grow into. Because trust me, you guys, you're very talented and you probably get bored very quickly. So going in and just saying, I'm just going to do this job is not going to last very long. So you want to know you can grow and expand and become all that you want to be. And when that's not available to you, you might want to make a different choice and know that it's your choice. It's not someone else's choice, it's your choice. You own your decisions. And it's really being able to be thoughtful about those things. Communication is a critical piece. Andrea mentioned knowing how to write, knowing how to speak, but it's also knowing how to do those things, how to have empathy for those who might not agree with you, having a way to ask questions. That curiosity comes into play. When someone says something that doesn't fit with how you're thinking, you might That's a moment not to go at them, but to step back and say, maybe they have a different perspective than I do. So what did you mean by that? Well, how would that look if we actually did it that way? That's being curious and really having a communication, because you want to build a relationship. This is not, life is not a transaction. It's a relationship business. So you want to learn how to really live in the moment and be able to communicate with others. Trust yourself. This is a part where people feel like, oh, gosh, I don't think I'm capable. I don't think I have the experience. I don't think I have the skills. Trust yourself. You've gone to IIT. As I learned today, we have employed most of the STEM leaders in the country, African-American leaders in this country. We actually hold a key to that. That's something to be proud of.
That's huge.
You're among stars. Not to mention that you are adding to that bright, shiny star that we all hold. You have lots to offer. Don't color it with paint and all that other stuff. Be all of who you are. Allow yourself to shine. You came from Illinois Tech. We build leaders. We build entrepreneurs. We build architects. We build engineers, computer scientists. And oh, by the way, we build presidents of companies, EVPs of companies, CIOs, CISOs, whatever those C's they have out there. If you want to be one of those, it's there for you to strive for. Don't sell yourself short. Don't ever tell yourself you can't do something. Or I don't see anybody that looks like me that can do that, that's done that. I don't think I can do it. Be the first.
Yeah. And Sherrie, wouldn't you say that, I know you and I are probably quite similar, but I wouldn't take no for an answer. If there was an assignment that I wanted to do, and I've had bosses tell me no, and I know it was because I was in a male-dominated environment, right? They tell me no, and I would go and I say, because I was already prepared, so make sure you're prepared. If you ask for some stuff, don't be unprepared. You gotta be prepared, but don't take no for an answer. Say, right. Explain to me, Mr. Manager, why can't I get this assignment, and what do I need to do in order to get it? Do not be afraid to ask those questions, because then they know that you're dedicated and you're also helping yourself grow. So that extra thing that I was talking about earlier is you cannot take no for an answer. It's not acceptable. Sherrie said the word can't and I won't and all that kind of stuff should be eliminated.
Ask for what you want. Ask for what you want.
Absolutely, ask for what you want.
Let me say this, Andrea, because you brought up a very good point. When I was young in my career, and some of you may know this and some of you may not, but I started working at Bell Laboratories. There were no Black women who were managing technical people, and most of them were all white males. So I came along. It was affirmative action. We call it diversity today. It was affirmative action. So they promoted 3 women. I was one of those 3 women. Now I will tell you, to get there, it was because I asked for what I wanted. I would ask, can I do this? Can I do that? Well, Sherrie, nobody's ever done that, but can I do it? I mean, I'm willing to try. I'm willing to work longer. I can do this on my time. That's that extra part that Andrea talked about. It's that kind of stuff that sets you apart from your peers. And so when I got into that role, I remember my boss telling me, Sherrie, if you enjoy 60% of your job, that's doing really, really well. And I said, oh no, that can't possibly be. I said, that sounds miserable to me. It's got to at least be 80% that I enjoy every day. Otherwise, why do I get up in the morning? And so you have to really have your own motivation of why you do what you do. And that's why it's got to be something you enjoy, you are excited about, and you push for, so that you can give it everything you got. And everything will come. So I think it's time for some questions.
Absolutely brilliant. You guys are giving me chills. And Emmanuel, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I wish we had 5 hours to talk to you. It is time for questions. We've got 15 minutes, but I wanted to ask Mitch to say a few words because our students on the line could really benefit from the program that we've got with him. Mitch, are you
Sure.
still here? Awesome.
Yeah, I'm here. I've been here the whole time. I thought I was here to get some words of wisdom, and I got a lot of words of wisdom. This is great. I'm sitting here going, we all need these reminders. I enjoyed every second of that. So I've got what, 3 minutes, something like that. You want me to say a few things here? Thanks, April. This is really fun. And can I actually start by saying, so are these all graduating seniors right now? Is that right?
No, we've got a mix of alumni and students and faculty and staff. Our provost is here. My family's here. Hi, family.
Hi, April's family. April is wonderful. So clearly you must have a wonderful family. Can I give a word of advice for the students first? You should put your cameras on. You've got people here.
I know, absolutely. I'm talking to names.
I'm gonna give you some direct advice, right? You've got people here who can be really some powerhouses in here who, if they get to see your faces and see you engaging, and then you ping them later with an email or a note, like, can I ask you for some career advice, or I'm applying to this company. I can't imagine that Andrea, Sherrie, EK wouldn't be very happy to give you that advice, but you get advice more when you develop connections with people. So
this is part of that confidence part.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, you got to ask for what you want for. Sherrie just told us so, but it's helpful when people know who you are. So my advice would be turn your cameras on. Okay, I'll share a very few quick things from my own experience. And I'm a 3-time entrepreneur. When I was 22, graduating from undergrad, I did not think that was going to happen. I never thought that I'd start 3 companies. So I'll share a couple pieces of advice on what got me there, and then share what April mentioned, my company, which actually has jobs. So I'll share a little bit of that if some of you might want to apply for those jobs. So 3 pieces of advice from an old man. Actually, the first thing is advice about advice is, it's a quick quote for you. It said that a wise person learns from their own mistakes. A wiser one learns from other people's mistakes, but the wisest person of all learns from other people's successes. And you've got some people here you can learn from their successes today. So hope you're tuning in. My 3 pieces of advice from my own life. Number 1, take risks, explore, be brave, get outside your comfort zone. Move somewhere new when you graduate, travel abroad, take a job that challenges you, do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Doing things that make you feel uncomfortable will create resilience and grit in you that will make problems seem smaller to you later on in your career. When you do something that challenge, it's like anything in life. When we experience something really hard, maybe some of you can appreciate this from athletics or whatever. In comparison, something that you do that for other people will seem hard won't. And ultimately, the biggest battle is your relationship with yourself. And that relationship that you'll develop with yourself by getting outside your comfort zone will be deep and will be a well of reserves for you to tap into. For me, that was when I was 22. I went abroad and studied Chinese and taught English in Taiwan for the year. I was terrified when I did it. I thought I was this tough 22-year-old. And when my dad put me on the plane, I was like trying not to cry because I was so scared, but I did it. And when I got there and I went through all the culture shock and all the ups and downs, I think I'm still pulling from the energy and the well of experience and the way it challenged my way of thinking about the world. Getting to see the world through another culture's eyes developed the empathy in me and respect for different perspectives, because I was seeing it and experiencing a very different way of viewing the world every day for a year. So that was number 1, take a risk, do the thing that makes you uncomfortable. Number 2 is your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you'll ever have in life. And, I need this reminder and I shouldn't anymore, but when April put up there, your spiritual health and your emotional health, it is so true. And when I was 22 years old, I can just say, I did not know that. And I needed to get smacked on the side of my head over and over and over again throughout my adult life, just being a typical, being very, very frank with you all, emotionally stunted male, that I just was not taught that it was a safe place for me to share my emotions. I was taught to play football and be tough. And I was not taught that it was okay to cry or okay to share how I was actually feeling. So I didn't even know how I was feeling. I went through my 20s not even understanding what my emotions were. And, you know, through some tough bumps along the way, I learned, my relationship with myself is really darn important, and I need to be emotionally vulnerable. And people will respect me more when I share how I'm actually feeling. And so your spiritual health are so darn important. And be brave. Someone laughs at you for sharing how you feel. Trust me, there's lots of people who are going to respect you more for being emotionally open and vulnerable. So my second piece of advice was your relationship with yourself matters. And how you treat people will ultimately come from how you treat yourself, by the way. And my third piece of advice is just leave everything a little better than how you found it.
Oh my God, that's great.
Not always easy to do, but try to leave everything that you touch a little better than how you found it. And even if someone is, believe me, as a CEO, there's times where I want my anger to be takes control over a situation. And that's when I'm at my worst. When something happens where I'm frustrated and maybe I'm even right, does it matter if I'm right? Being kind makes me sleep better at night. Being kind makes the world the place that we all want to live in. And ultimately, I feel better as a human being when I'm kind and leave things better. Not always easy, and I always have to work on it myself, by the way, but I know that it's true in my heart of hearts. So try to leave everything, your friendships, your romantic relationships, your work environments better than how you found it. And with that, I'll say that my organization, which April and I have connected on and is one that, you know, is mission driven and I care deeply about, is education focused. So we take students for the first year of college abroad. So students spend, when you did your first year, your 101 type coursework, we do that with students in Costa Rica and London and Fiji and New Zealand. And we do experiential education learning inside and outside of the classroom, engaging with local communities. And then they transfer back after their first semester a year to schools like IIT. We have 56 partner schools around the country, and we're hiring. So you can be bold. If you see a job on the website that you're interested in, we've got education jobs, we've got admission jobs. Be bold, follow Sherrie's advice, and you can shoot me an email and say, I'm interested in this one, and here's why I think I'd be good at it. So with that, I'll kick it back over to all of you for questions. But
awesome.
Thanks for
Oh, wow. That was great, Mitch.
So that's what I meant, students, when I told you we're going to have actual opportunities right here tonight. So take Mitch up on that. He's brilliant. And again, I always tell you, find people who think like you, not people who look like you. Your mentors are who can help you, no matter who they are. And Mitch is awesome. He's so much fun to talk to. I hope you guys all get to reach out and meet him. And I'd like to also just give a thank you to Mark Hanna. If you guys don't know who Mark Hanna is, please, please, please Google him. He's an amazing IIT alumni. He's on the call. With that, I will open the floor. If you have a question, please unmute yourself and ask these amazing alumni. This is so exciting. Don't be shy.
This is part of being brave, being confident, being bold, being vulnerable, one of my favorite words, and fervent emotions, because most of us don't want to be vulnerable, but I tell you, it's the best way to grow and become the best you. I'm gonna pick on somebody if nobody asks a question.
All right, Peter, do you mind saying a few words while we're waiting for people to get their bravery up?
I'm so thankful to Andrea and Sherrie and Mitch for sharing great wisdom with our students. I mean, this is golden advice. I hope you're all eating it up. I wish you were all showing us who you are by enabling your video. It's a little unnerving to look at a bunch of blank screens out there.
And we don't care. It's Friday night. We don't care if your hair is a mess or you're in your jammies. It's okay. We're friends.
Yeah, I'm wearing a polo shirt. I just went and played golf on a simulator. Talk about having fun. I just went and had some fun. So show us who you are and join the conversation. I mean, this is great advice that you're getting, and I'm really proud of our alumni. And Mitch, it's so wonderful to hear you talk about kindness. I mean, kindness, it may be, humility and kindness may be the most important virtues that you can learn as a human being. You will be much happier if you are humble and if you're kind to people. And I know April, this is how April closes all of her emails: kindest regards. That's what she says. And she illustrates that as well as anybody. So I'm just happy to be with all of you. We love all of our Illinois Tech students, but we especially love you. And thanks for plugging in tonight. If I can ever help you, email me. I respond to email, pkilpatrick@iit.edu. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Joseph Orgel, who's our new vice provost for academic affairs, is on the call. Wonderful human being. Clint, our associate vice president for student success and career services, is on the call. Student engagement, excuse me. Wonderful human being. And Thula Lagunas, our registrar, is on the call. You got some wonderful people here who are here to serve you, So great to be with you tonight. Thank you, April.
Thank you.
One thing I want to mention, April, any question? Well, they haven't asked any questions yet. But one thing I want to mention is don't be afraid to express what your high is. You know, we talked about kindness and empathy and compassion and passion and all that kind of stuff. And I found out very early in my career what my high was, and it was live television. I would get that pit in my stomach and my whole body would explode as soon as we went on the air live. And I still have that to this day, you know, 34 something years later. So, you know, figure out what your high is. And I think Emmanuel mentioned passion. And also be prepared to give back, right? Philanthropy is huge. I do it probably every day of my life. And there's a lot of alums on here, you know, Celeste and others, Zanette. I know you guys are into philanthropy and give back all the time. And it's very, very rewarding for you. But we do, even if you put a question in the chat, you don't have to speak up, put a question in the chat so we can see and maybe answer the chat.
And Vinesh, I'm just going to call people out. Vinesh, you're amazing. Will you say a few words? He's phenomenal. He's a recent graduate. He just actually, Vinesh, where is he?
Thanks everyone for having this really important and inspiring conversation. I'm an alum, but I'm really glad listening, and I'm going to tell this to the students who weren't here.
Wonderful. And that's why we're recording. This will have life beyond what we do today. So I thank you all so much for joining us. And then I see Toyin. Toyin is also an amazing student. I'm hoping she'll be our next BSU president. She's an ESI student and she is just phenomenal. She's organized many, many different things, but she's shy, but she's still phenomenal.
Yeah, I think someone had a question for Emmanuel. The person was talking about how to have good, consistent grades. Emmanuel, can you please address that?
Yes, I think the question was about focus, like how do you remain focused when you have a lot going on? There's very few times I'd say I've found myself not having a lot going on. There's always like a lot to deal with, prioritize, think about, care about. I think the skill, as I share this on chat, but I think the skill that came in handy the most is just being ruthless at prioritizing. You're going to have to make decisions, hard decisions, and
good practice.
Experience doing that is great while you're in school. Sorry, Sherry, go ahead.
No, just said that's good practice because life is about decisions, and some of them are difficult decisions. And time management is one of those things that's difficult for a lot of us. But prioritizing, what's most important. You can only do one thing at a time. What's most important at this moment that I need to get done? Do it well, be focused in it, move on to the next.
So Sherrie, one of my favorite sayings is, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority.
Yep.
And so I always like to ask people, what are your top 2 to 3 priorities in this area? And if they hesitate or if they rattle off 10 things, I'm like, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. And so you gotta learn how to pick and choose, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So since there's no question, I think we can ask questions so that we can help some of the students hear some of your wisdom. I think one question I would like to ask on behalf of the students is something I had to go through when I was in school. I think that is, how best do you overcome a challenge, adversity, or doubt? So I'll be very happy to hear, our panelists' insights on how, a student can best overcome those struggles and challenges.
One concrete example that I have is I needed financial aid when I was like a freshman. I came in as an international student, so financial aid is tricky.
Right.
I just reached out to some of the staff. Like IIT gave me more money. Jerry Doyle was amazing. I just walked up to Jerry and I was like, hey, I need more money. And they made it happen. So I think, yeah, my advice would be like, reach out to someone. You never know who might be able to help you. It doesn't hurt to ask, as you've heard, just ask for it. And the worst thing that can happen is someone saying no. But ask for help.
And when you're told no, you say, okay, that approach didn't work. Let's see, what else can I think of how to get what I want? Because there's always another way. There's, we talked about this, more than one way to skin a cat kind of thing. There's always another way. There's always something that I didn't think about the first time I asked that I might want to weave in the next time. Because I want to be smarter the next time I ask for what I want. To your point, Timi, about the doubt, and it's, some of us have that doubt in who we are. I know this is going to sound very California-ish, but it's important to get still with yourself and really think about, when was I successful? What things were success for me? How am I defining success for myself? And what did I do to cause that? And what am I not doing now? What's in my way now that's causing me not to get to where I would have been when I was in high school, when I was the greatest girl on campus kind of thing. I was fearless. Another one of my favorite words. I was fearless in what I was doing. I knew I was top dog, or, I was tops in my class. Where is that person? What made that person who they were? What did I lose along the way? Do that self-reflection. I think somebody mentioned that earlier, to self-reflect on what is it? Because sometimes we're out blaming somebody else for what's not happening. And oftentimes, if we just take a moment, look in the mirror, there's something going on with us. What is that? And then if it's something that requires us to talk to someone, reach out and touch. Go to the mental health center. And I know Peter's working on making sure you have as many therapists that we can have to access over there so that students can have access and not have to wait. But ask for what you need. And don't be ashamed to ask for what you need, no matter what it is. Because sometimes we get caught up in that as well. But ask for what you want. Ask for what you need. Ask it of people who can help make that happen. Emmanuel, EK, I heard earlier. I didn't know that was your nickname. EK. Okay, EK.
Hey.
I didn't know that he didn't go to his roommate and say, gosh, I don't have any money. Roommate can't help. He didn't go to the guy on the street corner and say, I need some money. He can't help. He went to somebody who could affect the change that he was looking for. Same thing with complaining to yourself, complaining to others. It doesn't fix anything. Be thoughtful, go to the people that can make a change, and don't whine. Don't whine. Be factual, thoughtful, considerate. Put yourself in that person's shoes, and then ask for what you want.
And there's always going to be issues, guys. At our age, we have issues. You know, there's always going to be some adversity. There's always going to be something negative going on. You have to have enough faith in yourself and faith that things are going to fall into place. And once you have that stillness, I'm going to sound California-ish too. Once you get that stillness, the answers will come to you. And the options, you'll be surprised how many options you can come up with if you just sit and be quiet, sit back and step outside of yourself and realize that, you know what? Oh, I've got this. Emmanuel, he had an issue. And he probably stepped back and said, okay, now who can I go to? You always, the adversities do not stop. That's life. Life happens. You cannot say that the world is crumbling because something bad just happened to you, right? You're not going to always have the best job. You're always going to have a jerk at work. There's always going to be a person at work who is just a complete bubbling idiot. And you're going to have to work with them, and you're going to have to, right, what does Michelle Obama say? Take the high road, right? And so you have to take the high road in a lot of cases, and then make sure that you are believing that what you're doing is the right thing. You guys do know the difference between right and wrong. So you're taking that stance and saying, I know what I'm doing is right. Things are going to fall into place. And is it stressful? Absolutely. I have stress every day.
Mm-hmm.
After all these years of working, there's stress every day. So you have to do things that allow for you to release that stress. It could be working out. It could be yoga. It could be meditation. It could be, you know, taking a walk around the park or something. Whatever you do, learn how to release your stress. It could be writing, right? You have to find a thing that's going to help you. I was just reading on transcendental meditation this morning. Those are kinds of things that will really help you come to grips with what that thing is that's really bothering you. And there is no problem going to a therapist. Trust me. Therapy is a good thing. We need to do it more often. A lot of crazy people out here, right? But there's a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of stress, and especially with you guys, you're hit so fast with things that are changing in the world so quickly. It's a lot to process. And if you don't take the time to process some of that stuff, you lose yourself. And the last thing we want for you to do is to lose yourself. So all that stuff that's being thrown at you, take the time to process it. It's just like eating. If you eat too fast, you're going to get sick, right? So you eat slowly and allow it to digest. And so you have to take that information and make sure you're digesting it properly. So
Mitch, I know you're dying to say something.
I know. Go ahead, Mitch.
Actually, no, Peter had his hand up first.
Oh, Peter.
Okay. Yeah, just a couple. Sherrie mentioned our mental health issues on campus. And I just wanted to say that Mike Gauze and I talked today, and I approved the hiring of another full-time psychologist for the Student Health and Wellness Center. And I think this is going to really help in terms of providing more opportunity for counseling and mental health care. And then the second thing I would say, Andrea was talking about releasing stress. There's a wonderful, wonderful article on the internet called 11 Natural Ways to Lower Your Cortisol Levels. When the pandemic first began, I went and found that article, and I've been doing 10 of the 11 since the pandemic began. And I've lost 30 pounds. I'm eating better. I'm exercising 4 times a week. I'm finding ways to relax that I never did before. Like, I found some things that work for me. If you read that article, 11 natural ways to lower your cortisol levels, and you do a bunch of them, April just put it in the chat. It's a wonderful article. And you know what? It works. It absolutely works. So everywhere I go, I try to tell people about this article because so many people have been stressed out the last year. So many people have had a lot high cortisol levels in their blood, and cortisol will kill you if you're not careful. It'll kill you. And so you got to get rid of the cortisol. And you know, it's a biochemical thing going on inside you. So learn how to deal with stress. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. I think we have a question that says, it's addressed to Sherrie and Andrea. What's the difference between a mentor and a sponsor?
You want to start, Andrea? You want me?
You can start. I've got it though. But
Okay,
you go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
A mentor is someone who really shares with you advice and it doesn't necessarily tell you what to do, but they tell you about their own experiences and shares with you how this job works or what you can do to be successful in this, etc. A sponsor is someone who's speaking about you when you're not in the room. A sponsor is someone who also is guiding you, kind of learning to help you to be the person that you want to be, ask you questions about where do you want to go. And it asks, you know, that's the person who will ask you, so what do you want to do next? And you don't have to have an answer right away, you know, and say, oh my gosh, I don't know the answer to that question. It's okay to say, and this is true in life, it's okay to say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I need some time to think about that. Can I get back to you on that? A sponsor is someone who's there to support you and guide you and be there for you. And as I said, speak on your behalf to others. So, you know, Joe came to me and said, I'm interested in, you know, that job that's offered over there in that other organization, and I just don't quite know how to get there. The sponsor will help navigate with you. Why do you want that job? What is it about that job that interests you? Make sure that you have thought it through, and then makes room for you to say, oh, well, you know, maybe I know so-and-so. Let me set up a meeting for you. I'm going to set up 30 minutes. Would that be okay with you? And let me check with them and see if they're willing to talk to you. That's what a sponsor does. They look out for you and they move spaces for you. Some mentors will do that for you as well, but their job isn't really to do that. So a sponsor will clear the path for you, assuming you're ready. Be ready. Be ready. Because when a sponsor speaks and you don't answer and you don't perform, trust me, that's not a good thing.
Right.
Not a good thing. Go ahead, Andrea.
The sponsor advocates for you. He or she is your cheerleader. So it's usually a senior executive who, as Sherrie mentioned, can help you guide your way to the top, right? A mentor is dealing with you more personally. They're the ones who is going to give you advice, and they're the ones who are going to help you more with your personal development. And so that's why you've got to be ready. So being able to identify a mentor and being able to identify a sponsor is very important. One thing I do want to say about mentors don't have a lot of time. So don't expect them to call you and ask you for what you want, right? You need to keep track of your mentors. I can tell you I've had some excellent mentees in my career, and I've had excellent mentors, but more mentees than mentors. And then I've learned as much from my mentees as I've learned from my mentors. And I've learned from Emmanuel, speaking to Emmanuel, the way he rolls. He's very brilliant, and I've learned from him and gotten advice. You know, he doesn't even know it, right? But
that's a good point. That's a good point that you just mentioned. You don't. You have a mentor. You can have a mentor that you never speak to. You observe them, you watch them, and you learn from them. That's also what happens for you as well. Oftentimes, a sponsor is not someone you choose, and just know that. A sponsor is oftentimes somebody who's watching you, watching what's going on. Say, gosh, you know, I've noticed Emmanuel. I want to follow him. Tell me a little bit more. He goes to someone else. Tell me a little bit more about Emmanuel. What do you know about him? They seek you, typically. You seek the mentor. Sponsors seek you.
Okay. Mitch is next. He's got his hand up.
I like this hand raising thing. I haven't used that function very much on Zoom.
I know, me neither.
you know, I'm in class. We're in class now, I guess, right? Going back a few minutes. I can't let everyone get all California woo-woo on me without me chiming in. Because I lived in San Francisco for 10 years, so I have to get in on that. But Andrea in particular mentioned meditation, and I just wanted to add that if I had to pick one skill that I've learned in my adult life that has been a superpower for me, it's been meditation. I try to go on actually a silent retreat once a year. When you talk about developing that relationship with yourself and being aware of your emotions and planning your life, it's transformative. In our culture, in American culture, we do perhaps a good job of training our rational minds, our achievement minds. We're not so much taught to pay attention to our emotions, and it has this weird, interesting reputation, meditation in Western culture. But it's really just like exercising your body. It's just exercising our minds. Just people haven't taught us that it's okay to exercise our minds. There's a stigma. There's a stigma to it, but it's simply just watching your thoughts and, you know, what's going. As we're even sitting here right now, you're all having these thoughts go through your brain, but they're happening. You're not aware of them, but they're controlling you. They're impacting your emotions. They're impacting how you're listening to the speakers, how you're reacting to it. That's happening all throughout your day. When you start watching those emotions, watching what's going on in your brain and how you're feeling moment to moment, well, then you realize you have some choices and how you respond to those thoughts in your mind and those emotions, and being more responsive rather than letting them control you. You controlling your mind and your thoughts and emotions can be a superpower for really everything that you do in your life.
Everything.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think we have a question from Tying.
Yes, that's T. I asked him to. He's our AVP for many things right now.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
I put him on the spot. I asked him.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Yeah, Timi, I actually have a brother named Ty, so it adds to a lot of confusion sometimes. So I'm really used to it. So, but yeah, you know, I just want to say I am so inspired by the words of wisdom this evening. This has been incredible. It's a great way actually to spend a Friday evening. So just want to, you know, say a few things on behalf of Career Services at Illinois Tech and a few things about the job search as well for our students and any recent alums that may be, you know, actually searching. I think our panelists really said it really well. You're going to do well. There are good jobs out there for you. And one of the most important things that you can do right now is, you know, be confident going forward in your job search. Do your homework when you're getting ready to interview and so forth. Get that interview prep work in, research the industries. That's key. And I think one of the most important things you can do when you're a student in Illinois Tech is, you know, get those experiences, but then really be able to articulate those experiences as well in a way that's meaningful to the industries and sectors that you're going to be talking to. You know, I've been here for just about a year and a half now, and Illinois Tech is an amazing place. And I see our students, our graduates, getting amazing jobs every day. So they're there. Things are picking up too in terms of the economy. So we're seeing some things open up, which is a really a good thing as well. So I see some really good things in the upcoming months, and you know, stay persistent and know that we're really here to help you.
Thank you so much, T. I see a hand up, Taryn. I know we're over time. I'm so appreciative of this. I just didn't want to stop it. But if we could answer Taryn's question and then perhaps give our panelists a time to just give one bit of a piece of advice for how you find your path, and then we could close. But let's give the floor to Taryn.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say a quick thank you. This was such a wonderful surprise. I'm just chiming in with my daughter, who's a junior in high school, and we're both watching together, and we've recently been looking at colleges and majors and everything, and this was such a wonderful gift for us this Friday night. And she's braiding my hair, so sorry, but I'm vulnerable for a few minutes and then I'll turn off the camera. But this has just been wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Taryn. Thank you. Awesome. Yes, people are having to leave now. So if you guys don't mind, maybe who wants to start? We'll just do just the last few words of wisdom and close out.
I'll start. I just say, everyone, you have the capability, you can make your dreams. Just be the best you. And I think once you're the best you can absolutely do anything. Reach for the stars and be the best you. And you know what that is. And if you don't know what it is, work on the best you, and you'll be fine. And thank you, April, for putting this all together. I really appreciate it. And thank you, Michael, for helping out here too.
I wouldn't do nothing anyway.
I'll go next. April, thank you for creating the audience for us and for the team that's here, and for those who are, seeking jobs, learning what success is. Know that you are awesome to start with. Believe in you. Andrea just mentioned, be the best you every day. That is my tagline on one of my signatures that I send out from my many emails that I have. Know that you're awesome, know that you're amazing, and let no one tell you differently. And just live your best life. And meditation, I just got to add to this meditation. I meditate every morning, and you can do it for 7 minutes, and you can do it for 7 hours. Take some time for you. That's a gift to you. That's what that's about. That's about a gift to you to really center yourself for what I want to accomplish today. What am I, so you can be in the moment and live in joy. That's it. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
No, don't say sorry. That's one thing I learned. Women say I'm sorry way too much. You are powerful and amazing. Sorry. Nothing about sorry fits you.
I know, it's true.
Emmanuel, would you like to give us a few words, please?
Thank you so much for organizing this. This was wonderful. It's great to meet a lot of you all. I think I don't really have much to add. Sherrie and Andrea have covered quite a lot of ground, and so I'll just say a little bit to all those who are looking for jobs. Reach out to people. Like if you discover people on LinkedIn, here on this call, that you think would be good people to talk to, please reach out, send a cold email. You never know where it's going to go, and have a plan. Right? When you reach out to them, have a plan, be clear about what you would like from them. Mm-hmm. You don't want to waste anyone's time. So I know Sherrie taught me that, so thank you.
Yep. Ask for what you want. I've been doing it all my life.
Asking it will be given. Thank you all so much.
I know it's yours. It's yours. Don't, I don't know. No, it is yours. If you want it, it's yours.
Absolutely.
If you don't get it, it's what do I need to learn? What did I learn from that experience? It's nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. It's always a learning opportunity, or it's yours.
So true. If it's not showing up, it's that little bit of doubt that's in there. You got to drop that little bit of doubt and believe it. Own it. You got this before you see it. Own it. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to everyone here. You guys are rock stars. I'm cheering for you all the way for our students, and grateful to all our alumni. And Timi, thank you for being my co-host. And I really appreciate everyone here. And we'll post our recording for those who didn't get to join us. And there's I see more students with their cameras off. If any students want to say any final words, please do. I know we're gonna break that shy out of you before you're done with me. Thanks so much, everyone. I know we're a bit over already. So with that, we'll send one big virtual hug to everybody. Have a beautiful weekend.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Hey, have a good weekend.
Awesome. Oh, Joelle, thank you. So cool. Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for the save.
Oh, no problem. But I did.
I was going like, why isn't this working? I know I'm the host. Apparently I wasn't the host.
No, I've done a lot of these in the last year, trust me.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right.
Have a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Watch that anime. It's really good. You'll like the Fates, I
What's
think.
it called again?
Fates, the first one is Fate Zero. That one, it actually was, they did a prequel. The first one they released was Fate Stay Night. And it's raw. It's kind of rugged and real. It's interesting.
Okay.
Heart-wrenching.
All right, I'll do that. You take care.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. So to everyone who will be watching this tape, this was February 26, 2020, and we just finished a wonderful session with our African-American alumni, and we are really, really thrilled to provide advice and guidance, and I do hope you'll watch it, take things to heart, do the homework. I'm gonna share the link again in the chat, because the chat stays with the video, I believe. So again, have a beautiful life. Thank you. Bye-bye.